All right, let's get right into it. If you're a CIO, an engineering leader, you know this feeling all too well. It's another delayed release, another late-night fire drill, another one of those recurring bugs that just refuses to go away. You're pushing out code, sure, but that feeling of confidence, it shows up way, way too late. Today, we're going to unpack a whole new playbook that tackles this head-on, taking a look at how AI is completely reshaping the world of software testing.
I'm just going to throw a number at you. 138 minutes. What do you think that is? I mean, is that how long your weekly status meeting feels? The time it takes to get a new build out the door? Just keep that number in your head for a bit, because it represents a massive bottleneck in the development lifecycle. We're definitely coming back to it.
You know, the story really starts with a tough pill to swallow. For a lot of companies, the old model of testing is, well, it's failing. And we're not talking about some huge, dramatic outage. No, it's the slow, painful buildup of costly little misses. It's that feeling that testing is still just some final step, a handoff, instead of something everyone owns. And that leads to a very, very specific kind of problem.
And it leads to this weird paradox that you might actually recognize. It's this idea of being test-rich and insight-poor. Does that hit a little close to home? You've got thousands, maybe tens of thousands of tests running. They generate mountains of logs. But when something actually breaks, the real signal is just buried in all that noise. So more tests just led to more alerts, which led to alert fatigue, and the exact same problems just keep popping up again and again.
This slide just captures it perfectly. It shows the two worlds. The before world, that's the chaos, right? It's low signal alerts flooding your Slack channels, where fixing a problem comes down to the heroic efforts of maybe one or two key engineers who just know things. But the afterworld, that is all about clarity. It's about getting insights you can actually use, insights that point you right to the root cause. Now, this is the dream, but getting there, it requires a pretty fundamental shift in thinking.
So here it is. This is the crucial point, the big aha moment. It's realizing that reliability isn't just about test coverage. It's a flow problem. See, it doesn't matter how many tests you have. What matters is how quickly and how clearly a reliable signal can flow from a failure back to the team that can actually fix it. And that, right there, changes everything.
Okay, so with this new understanding, a whole new playbook starts to take shape. And this one is built entirely around that concept of signal flow. We're moving away from that old model of testing everything at the very end and moving towards a world where every single change produces an immediate, clear signal with a clear owner. And this brings us right to the heart of what we mean by an AI-driven testing transformation. Look, it's not just about buying a new tool. It's a massive cultural shift. You're going from late-stage quality checks to continuous, shared decision-making about reliability. AI makes the process way faster, but the humans, your experts, they're the ones who stay in control of the really important decisions around risk and releases. Hey, remember that number from the beginning, 138 minutes? Well, that was the baseline median time to triage. That's how long it took just to understand what failed. After redesigning the whole workflow around signal flow, you know what it dropped to? Just 56 minutes. I mean, that is a huge, huge operational win. But listen, it's not just about being faster. It's about quality too. The number of high-signal alerts, the ones that are actually useful, jumped from just 14% all the way up to 42%. So what does that mean? It means teams stopped chasing ghosts in the machine. They started spending their time on alerts that were actually actionable, all thanks to AI helping filter and cluster all the noise. In other words, your most expensive people, your engineers, stopped wasting their time. But you know, this next metric might just be the most important one of all. Cross-team participation in these quality decisions rose to 72%. Quality wasn't stuck in a silo anymore. It became a shared responsibility, a shared discipline. And that didn't just improve how fast they responded, it boosted the confidence of the entire organization. So, if the process is changing this dramatically, what does it all mean for your people, right? I mean, that's the next question any good leader is going to ask. What's the human impact? How do roles actually change in this new world? And this right here, this is the key takeaway for any executive listening. AI is not here to replace your experts. It's here to elevate them. All that tedious manual triage work gets automated away, and that frees up your most skilled people to focus on the high-leverage stuff, strategy, complex problem-solving, and really understanding failure patterns. Roles start to converge, but expertise becomes more valuable than it's ever been. So what does that convergence actually look like day to day? Well, for product teams, it means they get involved way earlier, defining criteria that are actually testable and making much clearer trade-offs on risk.
For engineers, it means they're building with testability and observability baked in from the start. And QA, they shift from just running tests to owning strategy, becoming the intelligence hub for the entire system.
Okay, this all sounds pretty great, but how do you actually make it happen without, causing total chaos? Well, the Playbook lays out a super practical 5-pillar action plan that you can adapt without some massive disruptive reorg. Let's walk through it.
Pillar number 1. It sounds so simple, but it's profound. Clarity first. We've all heard the buzzword shift left for years, but usually it just means running automated checks a little earlier. The real shift left is on clarity. Think about it. If your requirements are ambiguous, no amount of testing is going to save you. It all starts with everyone being on the same page.
Pillar 2 brings us right back to that core metric we talked about, triage speed. The goal here is to design your test and your signals so that when something fails, anyone can understand it in minutes, not hours. It's that speed of interpretation that protects your release confidence when the pressure is on.
All right, Pillar 3 is all about discipline. If you're going to use AI, your prompts and your heuristics, basically the rules and shortcuts you teach the AI, they're not just some notes you keep on the side. They are critical quality assets. They need to be versioned, they need to be reviewed, and they need to be managed just like your code. That's how you ensure you get reliable results every time. Pillar 4 gets into the how. How do you actually make this change stick? The key is you merge roles by creating shared workflows, not by blowing up the org chart. You create shared rituals, shared tools that naturally bring product, engineering, and QA together. This just organically cuts down on handoff delays and gets rid of blind spots. And finally, pillar number 5, measure what actually matters. It's time to stop obsessing over vanity metrics like pass rates. The new key metric is confidence flow. How quickly can your team go from seeing a failure signal to taking a verified, confident action? That is the true measure of a high-performing system. As we wrap this up, it all comes back to this one central idea. This transformation, it's not really about the technology. It's about what the technology makes possible. It's about empowering your teams, getting rid of all that friction, and elevating your experts to do the absolute best work of their careers.
So, the playbook is clear. The results, they're compelling. The only question left is probably the one that's on your mind right now. How do I start? Where do I even begin with all this?
And the advice is actually pretty simple. Don't try to boil the ocean. Just pick one workflow, one area where friction and delays are costing you the most, and start applying these principles there. See for yourself how quickly you can turn that chaos into clarity. You can start that journey today and even try the platform for free at smartmaya.ai.